Dr. Disrespect has called out Activision and Call of Duty, and the internet is going crazy over that.
It's the demise of the franchise! That's what it is! I call it the demise of the franchise!
His tweet has over 4 million views. The internet has a lot of opinions on this, and so do I. Now, up front, I don't watch Dr. Disrespect consistently. However, I do fully respect what he does, and I know why he has such a big audience, because he's incredibly entertaining. It's just not something I watch consistently.
It's just going to be COD, the demise of the franchise.
But I think he's an important voice in the gaming world. I'm still a little upset that he just played Titanfall 2 for the first time ever, but that's neither here nor there. Shout out to Titanfall 2, the greatest FPS ever made.
Violence, speed, momentum. That's right. A game 10 plus years old. It don't matter.
But we're talking about Call of Duty. Now, I've been playing Call of Duty since the OG days, and then obviously the great glory days of Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2.
You don't even know me.
Can we stop running our mouths?
Stop.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Black Ops 1 is still the GOAT in my opinion. I didn't really play Call of Duty beyond Call of Duty Ghost for several years. I then started playing again late into the run on Modern Warfare 2019, and that kind of got me back into the games for a little while. I enjoyed Cold War. Hell, I even liked Vanguard. I'm one of the 7 people on the planet that liked Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer. And then a lot happened over the next few years, but I stopped playing after the Nick Merckx situation happened.
I saw a tweet and I didn't like what I was seeing, man.
Now, if you don't know about the Nick Merckx story, it was a situation where Nick Merckx had an individual opinion on his personal Twitter account, and Activision and Call of Duty basically decided that that was an anti-LGBTQ plus C3PO plus
LGDP, LBG.
Whatever hell they're adding to the damn alphabet mafia bullshit now.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
He said, leave kids alone in response to an LGBT, pro-LGBT, anti-LGBT protest or something like that. And he simply just said, leave kids alone on Twitter.
So I saw parents brawling in front of a fucking school with kids. I just didn't fucking like it.
And during that time, he had an operator skin within Call of Duty, and they decided to remove that operator skin effective immediately.
Absolutely blew my mind.
And then Tim the Tap Man stood by his friend and said, hey, if you're going to remove his, you need to remove mine. I stand with my friend, which I thought was pretty damn cool.
I know him, bro. And I truly do not think he meant to hurt anyone with what he said.
And so this created a lot of controversy. Now, around that time is when I stopped playing Call of Duty. And do I still like playing Call of Duty? Absolutely. I enjoy playing Call of Duty, especially some of these newer games. I've enjoyed the multiplayer aspect of it. Have I thought about going back to it? 1000% have I. But I haven't up to this point, and that's just my individual decision as to how I've approached this. Now, you have other people like Nick Merckx who stopped playing for a significant amount of time. Tim the Tap Man stopped playing for a significant amount of time, and Dr. Disrespect. They all stopped playing.
What we got to do is uninstall the game.
And I don't really know what type of impact that had on Call of Duty at all, or did it have any impact? I'm not really sure. But now you have this tweet from Dr. Disrespect where he just says, Activision pushing water bongs, marijuana, get high levels, drugs, and $100 cameos on gamers. But they removed Nick Merckx's skin for him saying, leave kids alone. Activision is ran by a bunch of idiots, biggest suit and tie phonies in the industry. That has 82,000 likes, and it has over 4 million views over on Twitter. And the discussion here has been, well, Doc, you're calling them out, but you still play the game. So how do you explain that? A lot of people are saying it's hypocritical, things like that. My take on this is, I have no problem that Dr. Disrespect still plays the game. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. I also don't have a problem if he doesn't play the game. It's really his individual right to do whatever he wants.
Whatever, I do what I want.
But let's call it like it is. He is playing the game, and he's calling them out. Do I have a problem with that? I don't have a problem that these guys are still playing this game, yet they're calling them out. Because do we just want a bunch of shills? What do we do with people that actively consume products and never criticize it? We call them shills.
Just consume product.
Well, now you have a guy who's playing the game and benefiting greatly from the game, yet he's still willing to call them out on their bullshit. I don't see how that's a problem. I think that's a net positive. If you have the top of the streaming world for Call of Duty, if you have guys that are pulling 20, 30, 40,000 people live watching them, and they're still willing to call Call of Duty out on their bullshit, I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
But that decision by COD's PR marketing team, I'll tell you right now, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to digest for the two-time.
Because ultimately, if guys like Doc and Tim and Nick Merckx walk away from the situation completely, and you just have a bunch of shills that are going to praise this stuff no matter what, I don't think that helps the long-term benefits to what we're trying to accomplish here. I know some people have an issue with this, and I totally understand where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, if we're going to call people out for being shills for people that watch movies or play games and never criticize it, well, now we're criticizing a guy who plays the game at the highest levels, pulls in the most viewers, but is still willing to call them out on their bullshit.
Fucking game!
It's like a lose-lose situation. It's like nothing the guy can do is going to work. I think it's a good thing that people like Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx are going to continue to play games like this and hold the company accountable, because it normalizes calling this bullshit out.
Oh, man.
It makes it to where more people are going to feel comfortable to call this bullshit out and hold the company accountable. So I really don't have a problem with this.
Fucking hate this game.
That's my overall take on the situation. Does it mean that I'm going to start playing Call of Duty again? Well, no. I could play it at some point in time, but again, it's been years at this point in time, and so I'm not sure what the future holds for me, but I've decided not to play it for various amount of reasons.
Nobody fucking wants it. Nobody wants it. Nobody!
But ultimately, if you look at the numbers on these guys' channels, more people watch them when they play Call of Duty than pretty much anything else. So they're going to continue to give the audience what they want. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If people were not watching them play Call of Duty, then they probably wouldn't play it. But that seems to be what the audience wants. If you look at their analytics, if you look at their numbers, look at all the data, it's going to tell you that more people care about them playing Call of Duty than almost any other game consistently. Now, you might have other games that hit hot topics or a relaunch of a new season or something like that, like Fortnite, that pulls a ton of people in for the moment, but consistently across the board, the audience wants them to play Call of Duty, so that's what they're going to continue to play, and I have no problem with that. I'm glad Dr. Disrespect did this. I want to see more people there at the top of the streaming industry not be afraid to call out the game that you're playing or the company that you are representing in some capacity, whether you're streaming the game or whatever. Call them out on their bullshit and don't hold back. I think this is a good thing. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.